Without even conducting research, you can clearly relate productivity to the how passionate the employees are, how happy they are about what they do. And we live in a time when people are very, very, very concerned about the free time they have and the work-life balance. Not all companies may be interested in creating a work-life balance because they look at maybe, say, you spend 8 hours every day of the week working. They look more or less at profitability. But this video is going to focus more on how to not just get the best out of your employees as an employer, but also looking at how to get them to enjoy what they do and thereby increase productivity and thereby create a sustainable culture and a company with low employee turnover. So when we talk about an employee analysis, we are literally just referring to employing the right people for the company or for the project for growth. Okay, so we generally take a look at the getting the right personnel and putting them in the structures we've already established in order to achieve the objectives we intend to achieve. Now, if you're a company that can choose to say employ individuals, you could look at subcontracting or more or less commission. For a startup, it's important to identify where you can cut cost, and you may employ and not have as much work for the employee to do. But with subcontracting, you are more or less employing as and when needed. So that is a good approach for if you are now starting. Now, different cultures have different, let's say, approaches that could work within the different environments. Same way, different companies have different approaches that could work in solely uniquely in the individual company. So we can't standardize or generalize the approach, but usually you start from the interview phase. And the important thing to note is obviously you cannot truly know who someone is just from interviews. So usually what people talk about has helped them is they usually work with recommendations. They usually take a look at where they work, talk to the managers, etc. if they can, about the individual's performance. And also if it is a recommendation, they take a look at they ask questions about the individual's personality, because that is what seeps into your work culture more often. It's also important to employ training programs as a tool to help with employee growth. So after you've framed your interview questions, etc., and technical questions for technical roles, and done background research, it's key to note that once the individual has been employed, you have a responsibility to aid or help with growth, especially when in the global market we are in, where things keep changing. It's important to consistently train, consistently have meetings, consistently share information and knowledge on what the new developments are, etc., etc. So the employee growth is the responsibility of the employer, and it's not only the responsibility of the employee to say grow, because some employers expect their employees to take that extra step without putting in place the culture or structure to enable them take that extra step. So together with the employee growth culture you establish or look at establishing, you need to also look at probably incentivizing employees who perform better than others. And quantifying what it means to perform better than others is very important. So when that is being done, or the framework for a performance indicator is being put in place, it can be helpful to talk to a group of people who've done it before, individuals. If you've employed before putting in place the performance indicator, you can have meetings on that and discuss what the loopholes are from the employee's perspective and build on that. Speaking of meetings, it's one way to get all the employees, management, etc., to feel a part of the project, to feel a part of the company's vision, and to have a clear idea of what the company's objectives are and what the company's position is at every point in time, to have an idea. And one way of doing this is, say you have meetings every Monday morning or the beginning of the week, a 1 hour meeting, and you can allocate the last 15 minutes or 10 minutes to worker complaints, or 20 minutes where you discuss various issues you have. And you can also have the first 45 minutes talk about things like, okay, so the previous week's objectives, where you are, maybe issues with clients, maybe things that happened and challenges that were faced, and if the problems are still being solved, the status of the problem. And this is one way to get everyone to feel like they belong and not to isolate the individuals as much.